Hello, my name's Garrett. I'm making this video to fulfill the community vote on what I should make for this channel. Um, yeah, I'm gonna try to be authentic as possible with this. Uh, some editing and stuff, but pretty much I don't know if I can call this a lesson per se, but it was kind of like some things I wanted to share and discovered for myself, exploring alternate tunings and kind of getting into noise rock kind of stuff and sounds. Um, yeah, so let's do it. Uh, it would be good to still have my guitar. Okay. So this is the tuning that I'm working with here. It's a strange, kind of ambiguous, but beautiful kind of open sound. We'll go ahead and go through the notes, and then I'll tell you how I got there. So right now I'm at D. Can't quite see it from here. G, D, G, C, and D. Yeah. I don't know if I want to go into like what chord that might make. You know, we're looking at a lot of fourth intervals. Really, I think it's stacked fourths almost all the way down, except the top, which is just a, I want to say major second, C to D. I'm not super good at theory. Like a lot of people who learn music and learn guitar, I learned it by ear, people showing me stuff, tablature, and it wasn't like kind of later in my life did I start to learn some theory. Really came with like the piano, but when I play guitar and play stuff like this especially, it's not my first thing that I like think about when I'm doing this. I kind of can examine it if I get stuck, but I don't really see that when I'm like playing. Anyway, which does lead to problems and you know, areas where like I need improvement. So how did I get to this tuning? I was watching the demo video to the Echo Dream 2 on the Death by Audio channel, and whoever that guitar player is, this really cool demo. I don't know if they like improv the piece or whatever, but they were in an alternate tuning, and if you search in the comments, you can go and find it. I think Death by Audio lists it. It sounds great. I could not play anything in it. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, like this is gonna take a lot of work, and it's kind of like learning a new instrument and learning, you know, the intervals over again. I'm sure people who kind of understand the fretboard intervals quicker than me probably could pick something up pretty quickly. And I was like, okay, how can I solve this problem? Or, you know, I kept thinking, and I was like, well, what if I take a few spots, a few shapes that I know from this tuning and or rather from standard tuning, and try to fit that into the alternate tuning. So I ended up with tuning up from that tuning to this D and this G, which creates the standard power chord fifth shape. And then on the next one, I left the D on the top. I now dropped D, those parallel octaves. So I'm familiar with that, and kind of that bar shape to do power chords there. And then the D to the G, that standard tuning. C is a weird one, and I think the C is a remnant from the tuning from that video. I just kind of had left it in there. And to kind of make like that open sound, I guess I think I had stumbled and just wanted to have another octave on that D for the two strings. So after I was here and I was playing around, the really interesting thing about these alternative tunings, especially when you're trying to play with shapes that you're familiar with in standard or something like that, is the use of drones and drone strings and open notes to create complex chords. This isn't a new idea. I think it's a common thing people talk about when they're referencing alternate tunings. But this one in particular really paralleled my experience with learning a little bit of old-time music, specifically cross-tuned fiddle. It's not quite the same, but they make heavy use of drones to make their melodies. So I kind of wanted to just like show what I mean there. And I'm a little rusty because I haven't really been practicing lately, but instead of being tuned in fifths, where we have these parallel strings, G, D, G, D, we'll make it do. So here's an old time tune. Drones and unisons are now available to you in making melodies and forming chords. And I was like, wow, I can take that approach and apply it to these alternate tunings on guitar. I found that this key works well with G minor and G major. I've only written one song in this key, or this tuning. So I'm still learning it. I don't know it super well, but it's really, really cool to experiment, and I definitely wouldn't have written that piece if I hadn't used this. I want to do my best to kind of examine a few parts of the song that I played in the beginning, find where I'm playing maybe some of these drones and unisons. Pretty sure they're all over the place, but it's cool. I think it sounds really cool. So yeah. That opening chord, I looked at it at one time, it's like a E minor, I believe. I have two open strings, the G and what is now a D. I have an octave, it's kind of like unison, but not quite. Those are also really emotive, I find, in genres that similar to this or whatever. We're not going to go totally genre here, but so yeah, and then I use this chord shape, shift a note, to create a moving melody, and I'm still using these open strings, these drones, to like carry a kind of feeling. It's kind of sad. Minor chord, but wistful or melancholic. I shift that same shape, still using those open strings on the top two, and it's the same ideal or idea. Another beautiful interval, if you can find them, that I love to use, particularly in my playing and in all kinds of like, I don't know, emo, post-hardcore, noise rock music, is that minor second or major seventh. Yeah. Love using those. Cool. So that's the beginning riff there. Then I drop the E down into the bass string. It's going to be the 2nd fret this time. And G's open, G string. Now I have my A string open, which is the G. I believe this one's an octave apart. Just shifting the bass note a half step down. Whoop. And then I'm going up to a kind of G major. There's a unison here. I've got the 5th fret on the low E, open string G, kind of like a chorusing effect. And then an octave. It's like a stacked unison octave. I mean, you know, I think I'm just being nerdy and weird about this, but B on top, beginning to G major, that's C, giving us a 4th in there, kind of suspended, and then the 5th on top. Another section I really like is kind of the chorus. Yeah, I think there could be. It sounds like a chorus to me when I like finally get a chance to play this with the band or like fully develop the song. But anyway. This chord here, let's look at it. The open string I have right now is the A, which is the G right now. I believe that the low E string is currently a B flat. Is that right? Yeah, I believe so. And then I've got the D on top. So we've kind of got a G minor here, but I'm more going to think of it as a 6 chord. B flat 6. I just move that low note up to C. Still have the G open in the middle. So we have C, G, D. Now I'm adding in this E flat, yeah. Because ultimately, like, this song goes between major and minor, but I think most of it's rooted in G minor. So we've got that E flat there, and there's that minor 2nd interval. It's dark, but also melancholic. And then that slides up. I've got a C. here I'm just kind of playing an interval as a melodic device or a riff, or, you know, it's not really a chord, just two notes. It's kind of that like inverted, let's see if I can show it on camera. Kind of like that octave shape in standard tuning, but just inverted. I don't know. So we have that C and that B flat, minor 7. Oh. I'm going down to an E flat major 7. I want to say, because that's how it sounds in my mind. E flat. Oh, interesting. We have an F there. E flat, F, so it's 9. And then the G. So you have the 3rd and the 9. I was wrong. The major 7 would have been right here. But it still sounds cool. That's off track. And then at the end of this, I'm playing the 5 chord, and I'm making it major. We just got this D, this A, and an F sharp. To A on the top, to B flat, which gives us that like minor 6 sound. Playing the C on top, open, string. So all together. Back down to the G. This is cool because you get, you know, staying in the key of the open tuning, you can get these chiming strings on the top. It's a sound I like. It's used in a bunch of music that I like, and, you know, yeah. It's just really cool. I think you should experiment and have fun, and I don't know, it's led to an interesting song for me that, you know, I wouldn't have found otherwise, and I encourage you to not be afraid of it. But yeah, anyway, thanks for listening to this. Yeah, let me know if this was helpful, or if you have any other questions, gear, or writing music, or whatever. You know, I think this stuff is pretty open-ended, and I really try to approach it in more of the folk tradition, even in more like rock and contemporary styles. I just love the idea of sound and people making sound in any way. So yeah, have a good one.